ISO-8. It is here, guys, and it is being tested as we speak. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for the game? We're gonna talk about all that and more in the news tonight, but first, ClanHQ is a new, fully featured messaging app, and it's got all your favorite bells and whistles, like all the other messaging apps out there. But what sets ClanHQ apart is it allows you to integrate your game data right into the app, and it makes it so easy when you are trying to recruit for your alliance or when you are looking for an alliance. And they also just added voice and video calling capabilities. Yo, Khasino, what's up, man? And also a new dark mode was just recently added to make the app a little easier on your eyes, guys. And hey, the best part about ClanHQ, they're adding new features all the time to the app, so it's just getting better and better and better, and you could be one of the first in your alliance to use it. Plus, in addition to Marvel Strike Force, ClanHQ supports over 75 other games, including Contest of Champions, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and many, many others. So check it out, guys, and make sure you use the link in the description. So make sure you check out this video's sponsor, ClanHQ. But if you are ready for a discussion on what could be the most heated, controversial topic in the history of Marvel Strike Force, maybe, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. It is time for the news, and I am back with my brother from another mother. It is Khasino. What is up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Ooh, we got a lot of stuff going on, brother. We got ISO-8 discussion, Ultimus 7, we got Datamines, Elsa Bloodstone, Strife, and who knows what else we're gonna talk about. Guys, it's gonna be a long video as usual, and as usual, there's timestamps in the description, so you can just skip ahead to wherever you want. Of course, BlueStacks, it is looking awesome on BlueStacks, guys, at 60 frames per second. It is looking nice, guys, and let's just get into it. Do you have anything? I know you just moved.
Yeah, my life's been pretty hectic. I'm still not 100% over being sick, but I'm like 95% better. And just as I'm getting over being sick, it's been just 2 days of nonstop chaos. So I'm fortunate I've been able to like get my donations in and get my war attacks done.
Nice.
But yeah, been all over the place. But yeah, got a new stream studio getting set up as we speak. So pretty hype.
Nice. I am looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to you doing a tour of your new studio once it is all set up. I want to see what your new setup looks like. So
I'm excited for that, and I'm hoping I don't burn down the place when we do the one-chip challenge we got.
Oh yes, I've totally forgot about that. We got to talk about that after this news. We gotta promote that, and I'm looking forward to that. My stomach is probably not, but mentally I am. I think this can be fun. Got it right here, guys. I got it right here. We are ready. I'm ready for it, but we got to work out some logistics. All right, on to more Marvel Strike Force stuff instead of just personal stuff. Invisible Woman came out, and instead of the normal bio gear, she took Mystic gear to unlock her. What are your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts to this response by Fox next to this issue?
I mean, I was pretty happy with how they handled it. First off, I was happy it happened, right? I had plenty of Mystic gear, and I was really short on bio gear, so I was like, awesome. And then just a little pro tip, if you're not already on discord.gg/Khasino, I reached out because msf.gg had her listed with Mystic gear, so I reached out and got that confirmed. And so it was only about 24 hours heads up, but I was able to tell my Discord, hey, it's going to be Mystic gear. Grab some last minute Mystic gear, stop farming the bio gear. I don't know what's going on, but it's Mystic gear. So got to put that out, and that was wonderful. And then they were really good about like, hey, whatever progress you have, it's going to get saved, so don't worry about it. They gave ample time for you to take advantage of that before they switched it over. And then they gave us a gold orb and a purple gear orb. So as far as I'm concerned, I hope they continue to mess up exactly like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a win for everybody. I didn't have to use as much bio gear that I was using for the rest of my Fantastic Four. And they did give that ample notice. They have a deadline, said this is a bug, this is going to stop, but everybody can partake in it and take advantage of it, but it's going to end on this certain date. I thought they handled it beautifully, plus the extra gold like you mentioned. So Nice stuff. Nice stuff. A weird bug, but again, good response to the bug. Another seemingly bug happened this week. A lot of people had Iron Man showing up randomly in their accounts, and it was explained a few days later. But what are your thoughts on Iron Man? I know we talked about the data mine, but it actually happened since we talked about the data mine for this.
Yeah, what happened was we knew this was coming, so people started freaking out, thinking it's a bug. What's going on? My alliance mate just randomly got Iron Man. I don't understand. But we knew from the data mine, I just figured out, like, okay, what happened was they accidentally changed his unlock requirement early before turning on the event or sending out the email. Which confused everyone, but it was supposed to happen. So it wasn't actually a bug. It was just,
it appeared that way. Because if you weren't watching the news, or if you weren't watching this news show, you would have known, why is Iron Man coming? But if you watch the news, you know about the data mine, and you knew it was coming sometime, you just didn't know when. And yeah, so I like that they're unlocking it. Any other thoughts since last week about this?
No, I mean, it's a good thing. Ultimately, Iron Man, while a decent blaster, I think we looked on the tier list, ranked as like the number 7 or the number 8 blaster. So not really the legendary tier character that he should be. So I like that he got downgraded. My only issue with this is they're still calling him a legendary character. They're just saying the Iron Man legendary event is always available and is a 3-star unlock. And it's like, oh, it's not very legendary.
It's kind of like calling Elektra, Crossbones, and Rocket legendary, though, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, Rocket's a better blaster, is the funny part.
He's kind of a legendary character, maybe up to like 4 stars, right?
Yeah, more so, I guess. But
if they're still doing that event, I don't even know if they're still doing that event for newer players.
So it's just a matter of semantics. I wish they'd rename it, but ultimately, it's a good gameplay change. And,
just the Iron Man event.
It's funny that they put the old Fox Neck spin on it by changing something without telling people first by mistake and causing mass confusion.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. All right, other thing that happened this week, we got some notice in-game. Boom, Coulson is going to be released by Milestone. I think everything else in this dev blog we knew about to some extent, but Coulson, we were kind of speculating how he would be added to the game. Maybe premium orbs, maybe Milestone, and it looks like it is Milestones. What are your thoughts on him being a Milestone character? And then we'll get into speculation of exactly how we think he's going to be released via these Milestones.
Well, actually, I have some more details on that.
Ooh, so maybe not speculation. Let me get your full thoughts then.
Right. People on my Discord getting the scoop.
Nice.
So, yeah. But so first thing I want to say is I had a bet with a very prominent member in my global chat. Shout out to M.Bean, who absolutely insisted that Coulson would be a Blitz release. And I was like, I don't think so. Anyway, I won $10 and now there's a guy in my named Khasino too. So don't make bets with me. Actually,
not always though, right?
It worked out great for me. Actually, please make bets with me. All of you make bets with me. But so that's that. But so another thing, here's the scoop, so to speak. It was kind of unclear. People were saying, is Coulson going to be in the Milestones as shards, or is Coulson going to be the Milestone orbs?
That was unclear by the blog. Nice. Okay.
He will not be in the Milestone orbs. He will be in the Milestone as shards.
Nice. Good stuff. I hope they're generous with those shards, by the way.
Yes, I hope so as well. Now, the interesting parts that are going to go into some speculation here. The data mined email announcing this doesn't suggest that he'll have an offer. He might still have an offer, but I'm worried that he won't have an offer. And as far as I know, he's the character that the most people I've talked to, possibly like in the last 6 months, all the people who are like, I don't really spend on this game, but for so-and-so, I'd have to. Like everyone's talking about Coulson that way. Everyone, Mobile Gamer even was like, I haven't spent on a character in a while, but Coulson, I'd go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's a very un-Fox next thing to do to not have an offer for a character that, for once, everyone is screaming, let me buy him.
Well, we are talking about Fox next year, so precedent definitely comes into play, right? And if we're looking at precedent, we got 2 characters. One had an offer, one didn't have an offer. Do you think this is more along the lines of Captain Marvel, or this will be an offer, something along the lines of Mysterio?
I hope there's an offer. It would be so profitable for them. So I would like to believe there's going to be an offer, but the data mine, that email normally says like you can get Coulson now via his offer or in the milestones, and it doesn't say that. It just says you can get him in the milestones. So I think they're not going to do an offer for him, which makes me sad. But we'll see.
That would be weird. That would be weird. All right, I got a few follow-up questions to this. First one, 180 shard character unlock. Is that something you see changing? Because that kind of thing has changed in the past before the character actually was released as a playable character. You think that's something that's changing, or you think that's something that's going to stay the same?
I think it's something that's going to stay the same. You're absolutely right. It totally could change. It wouldn't be the first time they changed something like that. But, you know, they had all the opportunity to make them whatever they wanted. Like, by default, I think it's at 7, and then they just change it to whatever once, you know, they're actually putting what it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like they set it to 180. Maybe they're trying something where, like, they're giving more shards away within the milestone, so it feels like you're getting more, but it'll still take a while to unlock them. I don't know.
Yeah, and that makes me question what the offer would be if there is an offer, because I don't know if we've ever had an offer for a 180 shard character, right? Or
right, I don't
recall it.
No, we've had offers for, like, you can get a random 180 shards for one of these 4 characters, but I don't think we've had a flat 180 shard.
Makes me wonder what this price is going to be if they do have an offer. That's kind of what I'm getting at with this.
If it was a flat $100 for the 180 shards, just you get 180 for $100, would you do it?
It doesn't sound worth it to me, but I know a lot of other people are, and just to stay competitive, I might have to. Unfortunately, I think I might have to that one. That is very, very steep though, for just some lines of code in a mobile game that you play on your phone, you know.
I would not be happy about it. I'd be muttering curses under my breath, but I would have to do it.
Yeah, it feels wrong. It feels wrong, but just
it feels very wrong.
I don't know. I don't know if I would do it.
So we'll see. Maybe we should hope there's no offer. But, we'll see how hard we have to go on these milestones. We'll have to math out these milestones right away.
Yeah, that is definitely what scares me, the unlock. Also in the dev blog, permanent return of Ultimus 7. I think this is pretty big. Now, the wording in it is that it's going to be more difficult than the first strike iteration. Predictions on how difficult this raid is going to be. There is a warning on this, just like there was for Fear of the Darkness, guys. So how tough do you think this new Ultimus 7 raid is going to be?
I think it's going to be miserable, and I think there's going to be a bunch of whale posts bitching about how it's unfair, and it's cheap, they've jacked up the stacks so much, and the speed bar, and it's just BS, and it's not even beatable, and that's just my prediction. I have no idea how hard it's actually going to be, but like, this is just, it's supposed to be the hardest content, period. And I think with the original Ultimus 7, the goal was like, let's make something that even the whaliest, blubberiest players have to spend a lot to beat. Ooh, and then they put out what they thought was like, all right, this'll be miserable for them. And everyone was like, that wasn't too bad. We didn't have to spend that much to 100%. That wasn't so bad. Which I imagine means that FoxNext immediately went back to the office and were like, okay, who designed this raid? You screwed up. Yeah. You hear that? They're saying it's not that bad. So get back in there and make it the biggest anal destruction I've ever seen, or so help me, you're fired, Greg.
FoxNext, it wasn't that bad because we got like a week between raids that we could save up for, not because it was easy. But I think they said that it was going to be harder before they even released the first strike iteration of that. So I don't know if it's that much of a surprise it shouldn't be that much of a surprise to the community, I think.
I think they want to make the whales cry. And I think that if even the top alliances are like, dude, we can't 100%, FoxNext is just going to be like, well, you're not level 75 yet, so... whale
harder, guys. That is the secret to Ultimus 7. Whale harder. What is your prediction on your first few times of this? 30% or 60%?
I know we'll get at least 30%. I mean, I don't know what the difficulty is, but we're literally sleepwalking through Ultimus 6. So I'll be damned if we can't 30% Ultimus 7.
Okay.
And I mean, I have to check right now, but we're somewhere between if we're not in the top 50 alliances, we're definitely in the top 100 alliances. We're like top 1% to 2% on
so you're pretty high level alliance.
2%, I'd like to think we could 60% it. You know, if it's designed so that even the top 1% to 2% can't 60%.
It's rough, right? It's rough if they do that. Doesn't feel good if they do that, so hopefully not. Let's go back to the blog post though, because the other thing, they are changing up the rewards. It says orange raid gear orbs, T4 materials, along with purple raid gear orbs and T3 materials. What do you think of this? The rewards that they're going to be offering? It sounds like it's a little better, right? Do you think it's going to be better?
I mean, that is definitely better than Ultimus 6, so that's a no-brainer. But I actually want to go a different direction with this, because it's a no-brainer. Like daily T4s, sign me up.
Yes.
More orange raid gear, great for getting
Wakanda, baby. It's exactly what you talked about. Wakanda's gonna be the gods of this Ultimus 7, right?
They'll be up there. I don't know if they're
now that we got all the T4s.
Oh, I know. The debate now is as we're starting to see more people with 11 and 12 tier 4 Wakandan abilities, I don't know if they're the top raid team, just because they accidentally made the X-Men such a good raid team.
Yeah.
But they'll be very, very good. I'm seeing plenty more people saying my Wakandans are kicking ass, so we shall see. But someone, like I said, I want to go in a different direction on this. My stream raised a very different concern that I didn't really think about. Like, I just kind of brushed this off like, that's not going to really be an issue for very many people. And then a bunch of people in my chat are like, no, this is definitely going to be an issue for me. And what they pointed out was the new Ultimus 7 rewards, like, basically they were saying there's plenty of people who are in alliances where they 100% Ultimus 6 all day. It doesn't make sense to keep doing Ultimus 6. Their alliance is for sure going to Ultimus 7. But Ultimus 7 doesn't give any blue gear orbs or blue gear.
It doesn't say that it does. It doesn't say that it does.
Right. Well, I think it's just going to be orange and purple, so we'll see. But if it doesn't give any blue gear, people are saying, like, raid is the only way I get blue gear. I don't farm blue gear. I don't buy blue gear from raid or anything. So they were like, if my blue gear dries up, I'll get stuck leveling my new characters that I don't have blue gear for. So
that's interesting.
I don't know that that's an issue with the raid. That sounds more like a, hey, FoxNext, start giving us more free blue gear from other sources, so that we can do Ultimus 7, or add also blue gear to Ultimus 7. But you don't want, like, raid gives you everything you need in a one-stop shop. But so just I'm interested. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, and I haven't yet, but I want to reach out to FoxNext and be like, hey, just again, like, for me, I was like, I have so much blue gear, and like, if you're doing Ultimus 7, I'm sure you're fine on blue gear. And a bunch of people are like, that is not the case. I ran out of those stupid blue syringes just trying to level Mr. Fantastic. So.
Well, that does bring up an interesting point about the blue gear, because one thing they specifically mentioned while we were at FoxNext was giving players more purple and blue gear to help some of the players catch up. As sort of a catch-up mechanic to some of the players that have been playing longer. So I don't know. Maybe they'll add more blue gear. Maybe they'll give us more blue gear in other sources that we won't have to depend on the raids. But it definitely was thought out. I don't know if it's going to work out how they want. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen to the blue gear economy once this becomes a thing that everybody's doing all the time.
Yep, I agree.
Cool. All right. Blitz schedule. Let's talk about that, because we got a couple interesting blitzes, especially interesting for players that have been playing for a while, and I kind of like these blitzes. We had an M'Baku over the weekend, so no weekend hard blitz, which I enjoyed. We have a Sabertooth Blitz going on right now. So longer time players that have these characters already at 7-star don't have to go as hard. And my question is, they were talking about easing some of the strain of blitz, some of the time commitment. Do you think that these not as rare characters added to Blitz is here to stay as kind of a mechanic to ease up some of the time crunch of Blitz?
Oh, no. I just think that it kind of goes in ebbs and flows. And so we just had a bunch of new character releases via Blitz.
It seemed like it was 8 weeks in a row or something with a Fantastic Four back and forth. And
there was a bunch, but of the new characters this patch, Sue is a legendary event, Coulson is Milestone. So this patch in particular didn't have a bunch of Blitz release characters. So we're going to get some that are not, still newer characters, and Baku and Sabertooth are still newer characters.
Yeah.
But I guess Sabertooth's not that new anymore. But it's like Sabertooth's one of those characters where you probably have higher priorities. Like most people, I'm sure, don't have 7-star Sabertooth, but I don't know how many people are hard farming Sabertooth's node every day. Yeah. They're probably farming someone to get some other legendary character or something.
Yeah. So I think Raid Store. So you can't get him every day, even if you wanted to farm him every day. You don't have a choice over that. So.
But so even so, people should be buying the raid orbs, but I'm sure there are people, selectively farming certain characters. So they're probably going for like Mysterio to get the 2 legendaries out of Sinister 6 or something. So I'm sure there are plenty of people who are like, oh, sweet, this is that opportunity to get all those Sabertooth shards that I haven't been farming for, but that I do want. So it's good. But I'll tell you this, as much as I like the easier blitzes, wherein they're not like maximum competitive, holy heck has it been difficult predicting the blitz scores with the change the blitz format.
They are all over the place, man, and we're gonna talk about the blitz, but I just want to before we get into that, the blitz bugs that happen with these orb blitzes, but I do want to say I'm crossing my fingers. I hope that you're not right. You probably are right that we are going to see more blitz release characters, but I hope not, because that eases a lot of the time crunch if you're not having to feel like you have to go hard on every single blitz. So,
yes, but I mean, the point of that mode is to be played. The whole thing was they want to make it more rewarding. But so like me and you talked before this video, and I was like, oh man, I haven't even done the milestones for this yet.
I haven't either.
I'll tell you this, that's not what they want. They don't want people like, dude, I haven't even played Blitz.
All right, fair point. I guess it's gonna live in hopes and dreams. But let's talk about these bugs. These Orb Assault Blitz and this Red Star Blitz. 5-minute cooldown, and then there were some crazy scores. I know, just doing an opening rotation, not even cycling through my characters, I ended up like at 2 million or something like that, which is rare for me. So what the heck happened with these 2 blitzes? I still don't think I got the rewards for these blitzes, by the way.
I think I got my rewards for them, but I think that I didn't get the rewards that you would expect. Like I don't think we got compensation for it. And so when I saw it, so basically they went back and amended the weekend blitzes, because originally the weekend blitzes forgot to include the new matchmaking and the new harder 8-3.
Yeah.
So when they went back in and they did that, in classic Fox Next style, they accidentally somehow botched something unrelated.
That's not possible with them.
Dude, they fix little things with sledgehammers. And somehow managed to break things when they fix stuff, but that's just coding. So anyway, yeah, they have these 5-minute cooldowns, and I started playing and immediately was like, oh no, I'm not doing this. I would literally just have to sit here and not get up until it got fixed. I could score like 20 million or something ridiculous, just X-Men
per Fury hour Shield, or something.
X-Men Fury Shield. No, it's every 5 minutes.
But the other thing was the scores. The scores were way higher than they should have been for a normal blitz. I mean, my matches were over 100,000 per battle, is what I noticed. And then at that point, I was like, these scores are ridiculous. I'm just gonna stop. I don't know what the scores are gonna be. I don't even know how to predict this. I'm done. And
people were PMing me like, hey, so with the new bug, is that going to change the predictions? I was like, yeah, the new predictions I have no freaking
There's no predictions.
Because then they went in and fixed the bug. And so I was like, I don't know how many people were around for the bug and how many people didn't get home from work until it was fixed.
Yeah, I didn't see the 5-minute cooldown, but I did see the increased scores. And I was like, whoa, these scores are crazy.
So we had no idea how many people got to take advantage of it and how many people didn't. And people were like, right, but what's your best guess? I was like, dude, you might as well just close your eyes, and hit random numbers on the calculator. I have no idea how many people this affected. No clue. I don't know if people are tryharding, but all I know is I saw it and I was like, and I'm gonna wait for the compensation because I'm not gonna sit here and do this.
I didn't even notice it till I was doing a Q&A mailbag video, and I saw people asking about the 5-minute cooldown. I'm like, what? There's a 5-minute cooldown on Blitz. But I saw the scores. The scores were crazy.
If I hadn't been moving, if I had done a bonus stream, and that would have been fun, and we all would have been goofing off on stream, I would have done that. But I was moving, so I was like, no, I can't just completely stop everything I'm doing and sit here for 5 hours. Nope. Sorry.
So I still haven't gotten compensated for that, Fox Next. I did get my Red Star compensation. I didn't get my premium orbs yet, so hopefully that will be fixed soon. Same thing with the login rewards. I think they're fixing that. I think all that didn't go out earlier this morning.
That was a weird one.
This, so,
there was just one calendar. All the others weren't. One just skipped the rewards.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, did I get this already? Maybe I got this already. Then I go on Reddit and I see other people missing all these rewards. Like, I wasn't imagining it. I didn't get this one. I wasn't the only one here.
Yeah, it just continues to amaze. Those brand new features like the login calendar, still giving Blitz trouble.
Or anything like that, yeah. But speaking of possible bugs, we got this in-game mail. I think we saw Datamine about this. Auto kick is returning, guys. Do you think this is all good again, or this is return of the snap coming? And it looks like it's happening on Wednesdays. So as of us recording this, we don't know what's going to happen. But as of you watching this, maybe everybody got snap. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Predictions.
I think it'll go off without a hitch because after last time, I really hope they tested the crap out of it. But when it happened last time, I was sending messages. I was like, I have to know. Did someone get fired? This is just so ridiculous.
So what happened? So for some of the people that weren't playing back then, what happened last time when they implemented this feature?
Oh my God! So for no particular reason, as soon as they implemented it, it auto kicked everyone down a rank for no reason. So what it's supposed to do is, if you set, let's say you can set it 3 days, 7 days, or 14 days. Let's say you set it 3 days. After 3 days of inactivity, it kicks the leader down to officer, kicks the officer down to normal member, and it kicks the member out. And it's a way of just saying, look, if someone is completely inactive, we'll boot them for you. And the second they kicked it live, everyone got knocked down one rank in about half the alliances in the game. And most people weren't an officer to begin with, so most people just got booted from their alliance.
I did.
Everyone was just floating out. Yeah, and obviously there was no explanation for what happened, so you just had hordes of angry people I've been nothing but good to my alliance, and this is how they repay me. And then,
we were making a joke. We were making a joke about that. What if you're not on Discord? What if you're not communicating in game? You just oh, yeah, they're so mean to me.
Yeah, so it's screw those guys. Dude, there were so many angry Facebook posts. It's unfortunate, but it was pretty hilarious, all the confusion that was caused. Which is probably how the Thanos snap went for the people who had no idea Thanos was on Earth,
Well, except when they woke up, they were 5 years later. With this one, we were we have no alliance. What's going on here?
Well,
we got to play the game.
I was talking to other people who were just sitting at the breakfast table, and then their significant other just turns to dust.
Okay. Where'd everybody in my alliance go? What happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the leaders just log on what? Everyone abandoned me?
The other way around. I love it.
Yeah, so... Yeah, pretty unfortunate. I'll tell you this, nothing would be funnier than if it did happen again.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
Imagine the compensation if it happens again.
Yeah, everyone gets a 7 red star, no questions asked.
Oh man. So I'm kind of hoping something happens just because the compensation's been so good,
I vote we all fake it. I'll leave my alliance, you leave yours, and we'll be like, it was you guys again. Give us stuff.
Funny. But speaking of playtesting, how do you like that segue?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
We got a closed beta test announced on the official Marvel Strike Force site. They're starting a bunch of closed beta testing and development for ISO-8. So this is a juicy part of the video, guys. This is where I expect a lot of controversy, a lot of people to be in uproar about. But basically what ISO-8 is a way of increasing your stats. They say right off the bat, it will not launch with speed. And you could make deliberate progression towards specific characters that you want to prioritize. Now, I know this is a closed beta testing. I know you're on it. What can you tell us about it from what you've learned off the beta site?
So I plan on actually doing a solo video all about this because a lot of people are asking me about ISO-8. But if you're not familiar, ISO-8 in this game is going to be very similar to mods in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, mods in other games. But basically, it's going to be like a separate additional gear inventory for your character, except that unlike the current gear inventory where you have to put a certain piece of gear in that spot, you have no choice. This will be basically an inventory you can fill with gear of your choice. So you'll be able to choose which stats you put on the character. In addition to all the gear that you normally have, you'll go separately into the ISO-8 for the character. So you can be looking at your Spider-Man and say, all right, I want to give my Spider-Man lots of damage and lots of health and some focus. Or you can, go a different route and, say, oh, I want to give my Spider-Man lots of armor and
lots of dodge. More dodge on Spider-Man. That would be awesome.
Right. And so we don't know the full extent of which stats will and won't be modified by ISO-8, other than speed will not be one of them. You will not be able to add speed, which is a very, very good thing. That's a huge win, because that basically speed is such an important stat that you have to have speed. It didn't matter what the other choices were. You had to have speed.
Yeah. That's kind of what ruined Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because it just became a battle of who gets the most speed.
Right, so they are not doing that with this game, which is fantastic news. As for which stats they will and won't include, they had a list of data mined ones, but when we were there, I mentioned some of them, and they had said, I don't remember specifically which ones they did and didn't say they were doing, because I didn't ask about every single one, but I mentioned one of them that was data mined, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not sure we're going to do that right when we launch them, we'll see.
Well, on the blog, they mentioned a few that will be included: damage, health, armor, focus, and resistance. So just the basic.
Those are six. The standard ones.
Yeah.
That's
so we know
six
those
things already modified by gear. But so some of the more interesting ones were flat and percentage. So it would be like you could get 5% max health or a flat 500 health, something like that. I'm just making up the numbers here, but percentage versus flat number.
Okay.
Some of them were mode specific. So it would be like, damage in Alliance War, damage in Raid. So I would guess, I don't know, but I would guess like flat damage everywhere would be less damage than damage in Raid. Damage in Raid would probably be more damage in exchange for it only being in Raid. Something like that. They also did like debuff duration, +1. So like, turning a 2-turn ability block into a 3-turn ability block. They had the flip, which is like buff extension. Turning a 2-turn speed up into a 3-turn speed up, things like that. And it was like for specific buffs too. So yeah, they had all sorts of interesting stuff. So I'll shoot Valley the link to that if I can find it to put in the video description. But we don't know exactly which stats they will and won't include, but there were some really interesting ones. So it wasn't as simple as just like more damage, more armor, more resistance. There were some really good opportunities to make some interesting comps. There's like crit chance, crit damage. So as soon as I saw crit chance, I was like, ooh, that might be a crit chance Killmonger comp.
Killmonger, the same exact character. Nice.
Yeah, some fun stuff. So we'll see. So that's the first part of the explanation. But so there, plenty of people are freaking out about it. There's a lot to say about it, and feel free if you want to jump in, because otherwise I'm gonna do half the video I plan.
I'm trying to let you talk. People complain that I keep interrupting you, so I'm trying to let you talk purposely.
Well, I'm going to ask that you interrupt me at some point. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk.
All right. So one thing that they mentioned here, they're not going to make them so powerful that they become the only focus of character progression. I think that is good. Now, I don't know if you know the actual stats that they'll boost, and if you do, I guess you can't answer this, but what do you think the boost will actually be if you don't already know it?
So I do, and you do. You were standing right next to me.
Well, I saw what I saw at the offices. I'm not sure what is on those playtest right now because I didn't sign up in time. So
well, forgetting what's on the playtest. So forgetting what's on the playtest. So for those of you that don't know, a little context. When we went to Fox Next, it had nothing to do with ISO-8, but me being nosy, I asked the creative director. I was like, look, we know ISO-8 is coming. Can I ask you just a few questions about it? Because this is a very important feature. It can be something really awesome, fun for the game. But if you mess this up, it's going to be complete turmoil.
Bad.
Yeah. I was always like, I really don't want you to mess this up.
And already the response, before we even know anything, the response is already pretty negative right now.
Right. Well, we know more than most, which is why I want to make a video and why I want to talk about it here. But so the creative director was like, you know what, while we have you here, and he pulled me and you and OMG and I think Arnold T101 into a room, and we're like, all right, here's what we got so far, and we got to like separately grill the creative director just about ISO-8. And so we were asked not to share any of the specifics, so I actually asked Cerebro, hey, I think it would really help people if they knew what the percentages were. I think that would reassure people. And I'm waiting on Cerebro's permission to see whether or not they're comfortable with me sharing those numbers yet. Okay. But that was my absolute biggest thing. It was like, look, people are worried about how RNG it's going to be to get them. People were worried about how many more you'll be able to buy, and they don't want a big thing. But the real most important thing that's at the heart of everything is how important are they? How strong are they?
Yeah.
Because if it's like the difference between a 2 red star and a 7 red star, then it's going to be horrible if it's all reliant on RNG and if it's all pay to win.
That's the other thing that you just mentioned, the RNG. How much of this is going to be RNG? And that could make it very good or very bad. Right.
Well, we'll talk about that too, because we have some of the details on that. But
what are we allowed to share? I get so confused. What do I know that it was public? What do I know that I'm supposed to keep secret? So I'm very weird about what I can say about stuff right now, because I'm not sure where the information is coming from and where I've got it. So but yeah, I honestly don't remember the percentages because I thought they were subject to change. So I didn't remember what it said.
I mean, they are subject to change. Anything unreleased is always subject to change. But we all had different concerns about them. Like OMG had a lot of concerns about, since there isn't currently an API, about switching them over and how much that
is a big thing.
We'll talk about that as well. But my big thing was these can't be overpowered. You don't want a free-to-play unlucky player to just stand no chance against a lucky whale.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be a total blowout. And so again, at this time, I don't yet have permission to share the percentages they're aiming for, but I can say I was very happy with the response. They were very, very reasonable. And the difference between, having completely average standard luck, which, after a short amount of time, everyone's going to have completely average standard luck, compared to fighting someone who has just the absolute best of the best stuff, I can simply say that it is an advantage that can be overcome without too much trouble.
Okay.
So if you have average stuff and you're fighting a guy with the best stuff, it's not going to be a blowout. You can absolutely fight that person, and they'll have a slight edge, but it's not a 7 red star difference. It's way more reasonable. So that for me was the biggest thing. And if that ever changes and it ends up like, okay, these high-end ones are just BS, I will be very vocal about fighting them. But I was happy with what we saw. So for me, that's the most important issue, and
Well, one of the concerns that I had as well was because I was talking to OMG about how long it takes him to manage his mods in Star Wars, just hours and hours, and they do have a way to do that offline, not just in game. So for me, once you get into the thousands of these in your inventory, how much of a pain is that going to be to manage? And currently, there's no API for us to manage to do anything outside of the game. So what are your thoughts on that? Because for me, that is the primary concern, with just the time that it's going to take outside of the game to manage this. It's systems like this, just they get bigger and bigger, and they get harder and harder to manage.
Right. So the first thing is that we know an API is being worked on. We were able to come back from that trip and finally share that with you.
Are we able to share that?
Didn't we right when we got back?
I don't know. I might edit that part out. I thought it was in the room, and we can't share that part.
No. If you go look at all of our videos, I forget which one of us, but when we did the 3 videos, someone talked about an API is coming.
Okay. I'm remembering wrong then. I apologize. All right, so API coming.
usual disclaimer until
or being thought of it at the very minimum.
No. I can say some work is being done on it.
Okay.
But usual disclaimer. It's still at a point where they could, pause it or scrap it.
Okay.
But that was another thing, is on the trip, we stressed how important an API is, both for a system like ISO-8 and just for the general health of the game.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, an API is still on the way, but there's no ETA, and it's going to be quite a bit of work. So it's probably a ways away. But so I'm hoping that an API arrives sometime around when ISO-8 does, which will definitely make it easier. But there's no question, with ISO-8 coming, it just makes it all the more important we get an API.
That'd be crazy. Anyway, It'd be crazy. All right.
But enough about that. So all the switching over, Mobile Gamer was very vocal about that. And I don't remember the specifics. I don't think we can share the specifics anyway. But what I can say is that aspect of it being a headache was very clearly presented to them. So it's not like the devs would be like, oh, we didn't even think about that. Like they know for sure. And I think Arnold backed up Mobile Gamer, was like, yeah, you definitely have to address this. And then Mobile Gamer, I remember, threw out at least one solution, was like, you could just do this and it would fix everything. And if I remember correctly, the creative director had said oh yeah, that's, we were thinking about that. It had this drawback, so we weren't sure, but we're going to do something about it. And that's one of the things we're thinking about doing about it. So I don't know what their solution is going to be, but they are aware that that's a problem, and they want to handle it. And if nothing else, they've definitely been presented with at least one half-decent solution.
Yeah.
So,
well, I definitely hope there's some feedback that they take, because, knowing about it and actually releasing it before a solution has been brought to the table or is implemented would seem a little rushed. So I hope they definitely spend a lot of time and look for solutions to some of these issues that we saw while we were there, and other people that are on the test server right now are seeing. So hopefully this gives them some time to make these changes.
Yes, but so they are aware of that being a problem, and they are considering solutions to it already. So we'll see what we get when it actually launches, but it's not going to be a matter of they had no clue.
Yeah,
so that's good.
I mean, this is a big change to the game, so I hope they take their time with it. I hope they do it right. Stark Tech, I think, was done right. Red Stars, I think most people would agree it's done wrong. And the War, the other mode that they really took a lot of time developing, I think there's mixed things with War. There's some good and bad with War, so hopefully it
War ultimately is more good than bad. I mean, you see complaints, but you always be mindful that while some people will go online and be like, this is really fun, I love it, most people won't. Most people just expect it to be fun. They turn on their game cool, yeah, and even if they like 90% of it, they'll dwell on the 10% where they really shouldn't have done this. But you just, if you're waiting for the day you go on Reddit and everyone's like, we really love this feature, it's awesome.
It happens sometimes. It's not like it never happens. It does happen sometimes.
It doesn't really happen with a feature. It happens with an individual offer or an individual compensation. People are like, yeah, we all love this free stuff. But a whole new game mode, again, people might say like, oh, all in all, I like this new change, but it's very rare that something's unanimously celebrated. So all in all, I think people are pretty happy with War. Like the fact that they haven't made any giant changes to War is how you know. Because if people were really unhappy with War, there'd be more quitting and more rage posts about War. But like there are some complaints about War, and even the dev said like we don't think War is perfect, but it's pretty good.
They know a lot of the issues that are with War, but it's not.
It's pretty good. It's way more good than bad.
A high priority to fix it because I guess the community is very vocal, but the majority of the community is not. The majority of players are not in the community, and they just play the game and have fun. So I think a lot of them aren't experiencing some of the issues that. Or care about the issues. Right. Is better wording for that. All right. Next thing. Oh,
well, wait, no. Back to
okay. This is a big topic. Let's stay here for a little bit. What else do we have with ISO-8?
It is like because there's so much concern around ISO-8, and so there's like a few things I just want to establish before we move on from it. Because again, we can't share the specifics, which is unfortunate because I think if we could share the specifics, it would help reassure people. But first, I want to open by saying this. I mean, ultimately. I know I walked out of that room being like, this is going to be good. This is going to work. Like, I had something I was really worried about. OMG had something separately he was really worried about. I think you had, like, just general concerns overall. And
no, I had pretty much the same concern as OMG and Arnold because I had played Star Wars very briefly. I didn't know how much of a pain it was to manage those mods in that game. And I foresee that happening with this game if we don't have some way to manage it, and other games as well. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 has ISO-8s and it's an issue to manage that. Marvel Future Fight also has ISO-8s. You need to manage that. So I do want a good management system, either in an in-game user interface in the game that we can manage it, or more likely an API that we could manage it outside the game. So for me, that was a big concern, was managing these things.
So,
in addition to like the stats and all the normal stuff that people would have concerns about.
I'm glad you guys are concerned about the management aspect of it because I haven't really cared much about that. And I mean, hearing the horror stories of it being done wrong is maybe like, oh crap. But 3
hours to modify your roster.
Yeah, that's way.
Jeez.
So yeah, we can't have that. But I've been mainly concerned with like, is it too pay to win? Is it too RNG dependent? Those things have been like my.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to know the details on the pay to win aspect. I think.
Well, we do know some, and I'll get to that. But,
are you able to share that?
I'm going to share what I can.
Okay.
But again, the big important thing I want to establish was I think I've said this right. I know I walked out of that room like I think this is going to work. I think they understand exactly where all the opportunities to mess this up are, and they are very deliberately avoiding all of them. Like everything where we're like, make sure you don't do this. They're like, oh, that's one of the first things we said is we are not going to do that. Yeah. So it wasn't like they were like taking notes, like, oh, this is good stuff. They were like, oh, like we agree with you 100%. So
there's one dev that goes around the office just yelling at people, don't mess with speed, don't mess with speed.
Yeah, so no speed.
One of them is really waving that banner hard.
Yeah. But it was like that, but with other stuff too, where they were like, yeah, no, we play the game. Absolutely. And so I walked out like, this is going to work. This is good. And from what I remember, that was all of us. I know for a fact OMG walked out like, yeah, I see no reason why this won't go over well. The things I was worried about don't seem like they're going to be a problem. So I think this is going to be great. So did you have the same, do you remember walking out of there?
I walked out of there with a very open mind about what ISO-8 could be. But the biggest thing was they listened to us and they knew a lot of the issues that we had. And that was my big thing walking out of that room. And the overall sense of walking out of their offices is they know a lot of the issues. They just aren't able to address it as quickly as I would like, or a lot of the community would like. So I thought that was a very positive experience I walked out of there with.
So talking about the RNG and the pay to win aspects. So, obviously most people would like it if it was 0% RNG and 0% pay to win. Mm-hmm. And
it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that way. They got to make money. They got to make money.
They got to make money, and everything else in this game has some RNG. So if you were hoping for 0% RNG, 0% pay to win, not happening.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal from the get-go has been to make sure they keep it very reasonable. And I think they have in a few different ways. So the RNG aspect I have to be very delicate about how I word this, but you will have a healthy amount of control over getting what you want.
Okay.
You will be able to selectively guard yourself. In some games with similar systems, you just kind of throw stuff at the wall and randomly get stuff, and it's out of your control what you get. And that's annoying. So this is going to be much more, you'll have a lot more control, and the variables will be more in how good is what you get, but what you get will be what you want. It'll just be, you'll keep going after what you want until you get it good, but you're always going to get it. I realize this is being very vague, but I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
Let me go read the blog, because they kind of mentioned that there. I mean, I think it's very easy to gloss over. I don't know if I noticed this the first time, but it says players will be able to craft as many ISO-8s daily to make deliberate progressions towards customizing the specific character they want to prioritize, and that is their wording for that. And I guess that's kind of what you're saying, but like I said, it's very easy to gloss over.
That says some of it, but I can't really clarify the distinction I want to make, so I'm not gonna.
I think I know what you're saying.
More than that, but I will say that
I would agree.
It's not that much RNG. Where the RNG comes in is how good is what you got, and here's why I'm not as worried about that. Like that's obviously hearing that, no one wants to hear like, oh, so how good it is totally random. But the big thing I want to stress is, as long as you have average, like bare bones average luck, what you get will not be very much worse than if you had amazing luck.
What if you have horrible luck like I do?
Right, you can have horrible luck and you'll still be okay.
Oh, that's good then. That's good. I'll still be okay.
Right, well, exactly. That was my big thing. Don't screw unlucky players. It's not fair. Don't screw unlucky players. No, it's no one's fault if they're unlucky. It's unfun to lose because you're unlucky. Don't do that. And
you know what the solution is when you're unlucky.
Well, harder. So fortunately, because the balancing between what average luck is and what amazing luck is, it's very, very reasonable. It's not a huge difference, which is great. The other thing is how pay to win is it, and the pay to win aspect again, because. And I have to be vague about this, but because the difference between average luck and amazing luck is not that crazy, spending is not that big of a difference, because you can spend and spend and spend until you have quote the same results as better luck, and it's not that big of a difference. There will be one instance where spending makes a big difference, and that'll be right at the beginning when, it's a few days in.
So like versus having something versus not having something for your character.
Yes. Yeah, having nothing or having something, and it won't be as drastic as red stars, but for sure, I just want to prepare people. For sure, right when it launches, people who want to spend a ton to start getting lots of stuff are definitely gonna have more. Again, it's still not insurmountable. But there's going to be a short period. I don't know how long, but there's going to be a short period where the advantage to spending will be getting it first and then having it when someone else doesn't have it. But and again, I'm throwing out a random window of time here. I don't know how long, but after, let's say 3 months, the guy who's been spending and spending and spending is just going to have had what you're getting. Like by the time you're at 3 months, you'll have it all too. So all they will have bought was that window of time to have it before you.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
Right.
I think that's how these freemium games should be. Right. You pay to get a certain advantage for a certain amount of time.
Right. I don't mind that. And here's the other thing is, again, it's a matter of you can go after what you want. So the guy who's spending and spending and spending is going to have plenty for his Guardians and plenty for his Aim and plenty for his Brotherhood and plenty for his Fury Shield. And you'll eventually get all that too. But if your main concern is like, no matter what, like my X-Men have got to be good, you can just start off going after stuff for your X-Men and you'll be, the guy spending and spending is not going to get stuff for his X-Men much quicker than you. He'll just be able to get other stuff for more options and stuff faster. But so, because even free-to-play unlucky players can chase down what they want right away, I'm not too worried about it. So, yes, there's RNG, and yes, there's pay-to-win aspects, and no one likes those aspects very much, but I've been just unbelievably critical, like watching like a hawk to make sure they are very delicate with those things. And in my opinion, they're being very, very reasonable about them from what we've seen so far. And I will, I'm sure Valley will join me if we start to think that they're going overboard on those things. We'll raise some hell. But I think they learn.
I like doing that. I miss those days. They haven't made me upset.
We have to rally
recently.
the troops. So we will.
Haven't been as upset recently, but I think the general overall feeling all of us had going out there was, you know what, if it's released like this and you address the things that we say, this thing is going to be fine. People aren't going to be pissed off. So I hope it is released like we saw it, and they do implement these slight changes that we mentioned. And of course, the API. We're waiting for that. But anything else about ISO-8 you want to add? So this video, before this video doesn't go super long.
No, I think I'm still gonna make a whole separate video just about that because a bunch of people want to ask. But I think I hit on all the big beats.
The big ones. All right. Let's go to Datamines. We talking some new characters, and this is on your Discord server here. We're talking about a few different roundup of some rumors, but this is the interesting one right here, and it mentions a few characters by name. We see Graviton there. We see Elsa Bloodstone, very interesting, cool character. Red Skull is mentioned, and I don't know if this is an old one that is coming back up or if this is something new that's mentioning Red Skull. Obviously we see Hela's name there, but Strife. And this is Cable's clone, if you're not as familiar with the comic books. But what do you think of these characters? Elsa Bloodstone, I think she's cool. Not the most popular character, but I think she's cool.
Elsa Bloodstone's cool. So we had talked about upcoming Halloween-themed characters.
Yes.
We kind of got our hands tied because I had heard about a couple of them, and then FoxX accidentally confirmed two of them to us that we can't talk about now.
Did they?
But one of them that had been, one of them had been rumored that we mentioned, back when it was a rumor and we could discuss it, was Elsa Bloodstone. And as I understand, she's kind of like a female Van Helsing, like a monster hunter, vampire hunter type of character. So very Halloween themed. I don't know her that well. Not a huge fan, but
I know her from other games. I know her from other games. That's the only place I know her. I have no.
I've seen her name thrown around, but my stance is always I'm fine with any new character. I just want to see the kit. If the kit is good or interesting, fits on some teams I want to build, I'm all for it. But it doesn't hurt. And if Elsa comes out and kit's boring, whatever. So it's a character I don't have to put too much effort and resources into. I'm kind of content either way. But very rarely is a new character bad news for me. So
what about Strife? What are your thoughts on Strife? This was a character that I hadn't heard about. I didn't know who he was until I watched your video with Mobile Gamer on his channel. So Strife, tell me your thoughts on this character here.
This one doubly blindsided me. Firstly, because I had no idea this character was coming. I know a bunch of upcoming characters at this point, rumored anyway. No idea how true they are. But I've heard a bunch of upcoming character rumors and never saw the name Strife. So was caught off guard by that, and then also had no idea who Strife was, because everything I know about Marvel is from video games or movies, pretty much. And Strife hasn't been in any movies and hasn't been in any of the video games I played. So I had to Google Strife, but Strife looks awesome. Like, I like Cable as a character, and this is like a more badass villain character. Like, he looks really cool. So I'm excited for him. I don't really know his lore that well, so educate us in the comments if you know about Strife. Tell us some of the more interesting features about Strife. But sounds badass, looks badass, and apparently was raised by Apocalypse.
Evil guy.
Yeah, villain. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to these characters, as I am for every character, pretty much. I am with you. I like all the new characters. Obviously, there's some that I would prefer more than others, but I think any new character is added to the game is very, very cool. What else? There was some mention of Asgardians in your Datamine news update channel. You want to comment on that, or no comment so far?
I will comment on that, and all the more reason to go to discord.gg/Khasino. But since we can talk about rumored characters, since we don't know how true they are, I have heard a couple names for rumored Asgardians, in addition to Thor, Loki, and Hela, of course. And so one of the ones mentioned there, I confirmed to my stream that one of the rumored names I heard was Heimdall. And I absolutely love Heimdall.
Makes sense.
I hope that rumor is true. Heimdall's just a super badass. So yeah, I really hope we get that character. And then my stream has yet to guess. I'm letting them ask yes/no questions on stream until they guess the other rumored name. And again, I don't know how true these rumored names are, but they've seemed to have been more true than not true. So it's a good sign. But
yeah, a lot of your rumors are turning out to be true. So
more often than not. But I didn't hear anything about Strife. And then the thing about rumors is, if just as an example, if before the game launched, if someone said, "Hey, I heard some rumors they're working on Abomination," that would be true. They did work on Abomination. He has a model. When is Abomination releasing?
I think he had a avatar in the game files at one point.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He had a portrait. He had a model. So that would have been a rumor someone could have heard. It's like, "Yeah, I heard they're working on Abomination." Yeah, and it would have been a true rumor, so to speak. And yet, doesn't mean anything to us now. We never got Abomination. We may never get. So, take these rumors with a grain of salt. Don't start planning comps around the character. No idea if they'll ever actually see release. No idea if they're even being worked on. I'm hearing from a friend of a friend, but I'm hyped for Heimdall and the other name that's yet to be guessed. You know what? Actually, we usually do exclusives on this show. I might as well.
Oh, nice. All right. So let me just lead up for this exclusive. I didn't know we were going to do this. All right. Is the fifth Asgardian someone that appeared in Thor Ragnarok? Answer is no. Is the fifth Asgardian Captain Britain? Answer was no. And the fifth Asgardian is... Or should there be more build-up? I don't know how you wanted to do this. I didn't know we were going to do this.
I'll let you ask more yes/no questions until you get it. How about that?
All right. Was this fifth Asgardian in any Thor movie? So the three MCU Thor movies.
Yes. Well, in at least one of them.
Is this fifth Asgardian one of the three? The three champ. What are they called?
The Warriors 3.
The Warriors 3 is one of the Warriors 3. All right, who else appeared? Is this character dead in the MCU?
I think.
All right, so I guess it's not Odin. That was kind of what that was leaning towards. Because you would know that he was dead.
I don't remember the character dying, but the fact that the character didn't reappear, maybe they did. I don't remember.
Villain or hero?
You gotta be yes/no.
Is this a villain?
No.
All right. I'm done. The answer's in my head already. Is this character, the Asgardian that I wanted in this game for so long, is the rumored character Sif?
Yes.
Hell yeah, baby! Love it. That was a nice surprise on this show.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing that, but I figured everyone had to listen to me drone on about ISO-8 being unbelievably vague. I probably gave everyone listening a headache, so might as well spill a rumored name.
So yeah, if you guys are watching this, that is cool. Yeah, nice, awesome. So I don't know how to top that. So I guess let's end it here. What do you have anything to promote, Khasino?
I moved into a new place, so nice. There should be some improved quality on my YouTube videos coming up pretty soon. Gonna live stream a house tour, so twitch.tv/Khasino every day at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Come check that out and join the Discord because you never know what ends up on there.
I want to see the stream room when it is done, and I think you forgot one big thing. This one chip challenge. We are gonna we're gonna talk about this offline and how does logistics. Follow us on social media, guys. I think that's where we're gonna announce all the details for this. And I think the plan, at least right now, is to do this as a live stream on your channel and then do the replay on my channel. I think that's what the plan is, but we'll see after what the details are after we talk about this. But like I said, details will be announced on social media. So if you're not following myself and Khasino on social media, make sure you guys check us out there. If you're not subscribed to this channel, we do these news videos every week, guys. Subscribe, join the notification squad, ring that bell, Valley merch, BlueStacks, all that good stuff. The links are down below. And of course, want to thank the sponsor of this video, ClanHQ. I will see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out.